Just give us a quick preview of what might be the most interesting earnings report.
Well, I tell you, it might just be Amazon, just simply because there are so many moving parts for Amazon. Obviously, the healthcare announcement they made a couple of days ago, their movement into the grocery business last quarter with the acquisition of Whole Foods. So that you put that on top of what has already been an extraordinary story for a top-line story for Amazon. Stock price reflecting it, up again significantly year to date this year after a real strong 2017. So I think Amazon might be one of the more interesting stories coming out of the and probably one of the probably the strongest top line story coming out of the earnings over the next few days for the big tech companies.
Yeah, I mean, might it cause a turn in the market? I mean, we obviously saw that drop yesterday for various different reasons, but once the FOMC is out of the way, jobs report Friday, people are going to be really looking and scrutinizing these particular earnings reports. Is there anything that might cause a turn?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, the tech sector has led the market clearly in 2017, but really over the last several years. And I think we're going to get, generally speaking, some pretty strong numbers, again, particularly on the top line for a lot of these companies. Facebook, Alphabet, I think are going to have very good stories to tell about the underlying growth of their business, the core growth of their users, and then the core growth of their advertising on their platform. So again, the tech companies should give us some pretty strong, consistently numbers across the top line. And then for many of them, a lot of that would translate to the bottom line as well.
What about Apple, Paul? I mean, we've clearly had some warning signals about Apple in the last couple of days, some wonderful Bloomberg exclusives, on a delay, and also the possibility that the iPhone 10 really wasn't as popular as, would have been hoped for. Yeah,
John Butler, who covers Apple for us at Bloomberg Intelligence, has been becoming increasingly cautious on the name. I think there's a little bit, obviously, some concerns that this is still a company that is obviously clearly a phone company, a handset company, and to the extent you saw the 10 not really resonate with customers as much as maybe the market was anticipating initially. That calls into question some of the refresh stories that you tend to see on Apple. We're seeing some analysts pull back on the stock really over the last several days here. So again, this is a stock that historically has needed the refresh of the phone to kind of drive the sales, and it generally has been a good story. Investors, I think some of the more cautious investors longer term are saying, what's the next big thing for Apple? Is it going to be their services business? Is that going to be what's going to drive the earnings story going forward? Or do we need a new vertical for Apple, and we just haven't seen that yet?